What's up, losers? Today I'm back with some more r/am I the arsehole fun. Checking out a couple of stories of some spicy interpersonal drama. Sharing my thoughts and observations about them. And making some calls on who the biggest arseholes are in each of them. This is episode 15 in the Am I the Arsehole series. And I've got some interesting posts lined up for this one. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first post of the day is by user RoundWheel22, and it is titled, Am I the Arsehole, for expressing disapproval over my husband's eating habits.
My husband is 35 years old and was diagnosed with high cholesterol and diabetes 2 years ago. At that time, I had made his doctor's appointments and was involved in discussion with his doctors about treatment planning. His young age diagnosis is linked to his poor diet since childhood. He ate from restaurants as a kid, as his mom never cooked, and also his family history. Both parents, all grandparents, uncles and aunts have diabetes. Also, he is insanely addicted to desserts. Since his diagnosis, I have tried to help him by trying to cook as much. Got diabetic meal kit subscriptions, nutritionist appointments, etc. He initially lost some weight and showed some improvement. But things are back to where it started. I spent a lot of time planning groceries, cooking vegetables, and ordering fruits every week to help him. But he prefers to bring his own restaurant-bought food, mostly fast food, Chick-fil-A, etc., for dinner. He is also not compliant with his medications. He actively starves half the day, intermittent fasting, as he calls it, and then makes a plate of desserts with chocolate, strawberry, etc. syrups, with copious amount of whipped cream, almost daily after dinner. It really boils my blood every time I see him doing this. And we had some fights. But ultimately, I decided that he is an adult, and should make his own health choices. I would mention that part of my disgust for this sort of dietary habits stems from the fact that last year, my 60-something uncle had a massive stroke. He is now severely debilitated, with breathing machine and feeding tube. He had a daily routine of eating big portion of desserts after dinner for decades, and often bragged about it. For some reason, my husband's habits are almost like a PTSD. Of course, my husband has extensive explanation for his behavior. He mentions that he isn't able to eat as much dessert as he wants to, due to my constant complaining. He argues that since he skips breakfast regularly, and sometimes lunch, it is alright to make up for those calories with dessert plate in the evening. He believes that whipped cream is actually healthy, with only 10 to 25 calories. There are also other explanations, like work-related stress, bad mood, etc., at other times, which make it reasonable to eat poor diet. Due to constant argumentation over it, I had given up on bringing this up further. However, this afternoon, when he started making his plate of dessert, I kept quiet initially, but looking at the overabundance and indulgence in one plate, I couldn't keep shut. I wasn't fighting, but casually said that what he is doing right now reminds me of my sick uncle. He immediately blew up, threw his plate in trash, and is now refusing to talk. My question is it unreasonable for me to express my disapproval for such unhealthy habits that I find very abnormal, or I am just overreacting?
Haha, what? Is this guy a toddler? He refuses to eat anything other than dessert. And when his wife raises her concerns to him about it, he throws a tantrum and tosses his food in the trash. What's next? Stomping his feet and smearing ketchup on the walls. It's crazy. I feel like someone needs to remind him that he's 35 years old, and not 5 years old, haha. No, but jokes aside, this guy's eating habits do sound genuinely concerning. And I can absolutely see why OP is so concerned about him. Especially in light of his family history. And her own experience. It's pretty clear that the husband has a severely disordered relationship with food. And he needs serious help to sort it out, before the situation gets any worse. I don't know where he got the idea that it was okay to eat endless desserts and fast food. As long as you square your daily calorie count by eating basically nothing else. But yeah, it doesn't work that way. Calories are important, sure, but eating a balanced diet is just as important. and stuffing your face with non-stop sugar and fast food is pretty much guaranteed to freak you up badly. Also, for what it's worth, if he's putting on as much weight as it sounds like he is, it doesn't sound like his intermittent fasting plan is working as intended. Even on that level, so I don't know why he's bothering to haggle over whipped cream, when he should be facing up to the urgent problem of what is very clearly a dysfunctional and dangerous overall diet. From the sound of the post, OP has done everything right. She has done her best to support her husband by preparing healthy food for him and all that. She has repeatedly expressed how worried she is and why she feels this way, and she has done her best to explain what the issues are with his current way of doing things. Even though at 35 years old, he should really be able to figure these things out for himself, and shouldn't rely on his wife to take care of everything on his behalf. And how has he responded to all of this? By ignoring her advice, refusing to take his medication, rejecting her food in favor of fast food, gloating about his crazy diet, and freaking out on her when she tries to get him to take the situation seriously. Classy. I know that this guy has issues, and that he likely needs help of a kind that OP is not qualified to provide, but none of that justifies the unappreciative, unempathetic, and flat-out disrespectful way that he has been treating her. So as far as I'm concerned, he is definitely the asshole, and OP is in the right. I sure hope he comes to his senses sooner or later, because OP deserves better than to be treated like that, and because at the rate he's going now, I don't even want to imagine what his health is going to look like in 10 years. Sighs. Anyway, moving on. The next post I'm going to check out is by user Harley Cringe, and it is titled, "Am I the Asshole for the way I clapped back at my sister's comments on my appearance?" Let's dive in.
My 18 female sister, 24 female, used to be very close when we grew up, because we immigrated with our mom to another country, and we're basically forced to raise ourselves. When I was around 13, she and my mom got into a huge fight, and she basically left to go live with her boyfriend at the time, and went no contact with my mom. After that, she moved from boyfriends to boyfriends for a few years until she got a flat of her own, while I stayed with our mom. Recently, she got in contact with my mom again, and things are doing fine between them. And since she's in the process to moving to a new flat again, my mom offered her to stay live with us for a few weeks, which she accepted. Because of all of what happened, we're not very close, and are completely different as people. Because she was always moving from boyfriends to boyfriends, and still is today. Her last relationship lasted for 2 weeks because the guy didn't answer quick enough to her. She believes that her appearance is the most important thing, and that a woman must always be shaved from everywhere, wear makeup, revealing clothes, have long hair, etc., which is very much not me. I don't shave my legs, even though I have really dark hair. I don't wear makeup, and I wear very baggy clothes. I don't feel the need to hide it, as I am not ashamed of my appearance, and am very much clean. This summer was very hot, and I wore a lot of shorts, so my legs were very much visible, and my body hair as well, which my sister pointed out several times. Every time we got out, she commented on my legs, saying that they're absolutely disgusting to look at. You should be ashamed to show this to the world. She also uses my boyfriend as an excuse for this, saying, "Imagine how happy your boyfriend would be if you shaved your legs. Don't you want to please your boyfriend?" To which my boyfriend always responded by saying, "I couldn't care less. It's your body. You do what you want with it." I've been with my boyfriend for almost 2 years now, so unlike my sister, I'm in a very stable relationship. I used to brush these remarks off with a joke, or just saying that I don't care, but lately it became very much unbearable. I used to have shoulders length hair and I absolutely hated it, as I wanted them shorter, so I decided to get them cut. When I talked about it to my sister, she went feral, even though I explained that I wanted to feel better about my appearance. She said that I would just become a monster, that I would be even more disgusting to look at, that people would insult me whenever they see me in the streets. And the sentence that made me snap. She said my boyfriend would dump me for a hot chick, and I would deserve it. I lost it, and told her something along the lines of, "I'm sorry you suck so much at keeping a relationship. That the only thing valuable for guys that you have is your fricking body. But my boyfriend isn't dating me to just frick me. So stop making unprompted comments about my appearance." I feel like I went too far. So I'm asking, am I the asshole?
Oh nah man, that's not going too far. By the sounds of things. It's just giving her exactly what she deserved. Sure, it wasn't a kind thing to say. But at a certain point, if you're going to talk shit about everyone else, you should expect to get some of that shit thrown back at you. That's just life. If OP's sister wants to constantly pry into her personal grooming and style choices, call her ugly and disgusting, and tell her how to live her life. It's only fair for OP to have the right of reply. And frankly, I'm surprised that it took this long for OP to avail herself of it. The biggest question I'm left with after reading this post is not who of the sisters is in the right. Because let's be real, it couldn't be more obvious. No, my biggest question is, what on earth is going on with OP's sister to make her act like this in the first place? Because honestly, her fixation on other people's body hair and whatnot is nothing short of bizarre. And she seems to have some pretty deep-seated issues regarding relationships, the role of women, and how a woman should generally present herself in public, that go beyond what I would consider the normal spectrum of opinion on such matters. Any explanation that I could try to offer would be pure speculation. So I'm not going to attempt to puzzle out the exact source of her strange attitude and behavior. I'll just say that I'm pretty confident that there's more going on than simple beachiness. And that even outside of her present conflict with OP, the sister clearly needs to deal with whatever she's got going on for her own sake. Because I struggle to see how she's going to maintain a relationship, whether romantic, platonic, or even familial, with anyone, acting the way she is now. Sarah, yeah, OP is in the right. The sister is the asshole. And frankly, she sounds completely insufferable, so I hope that she gets her shit together quickly, before her obnoxious antics drive everyone around her away. The last post I'm going to look at is by user Unlucky Revolution 27, and it is titled, "Am I the Asshole for encouraging my girlfriend to lose weight? Why don't we give it a read?"
I'm 27 years old and have a girlfriend of 6 years, who I live with. When we first got together, she had an athletic body. That all changed the past couple years, when she got promoted and started working longer hours. She has started smoking weed every night, claiming that it helped her relax after a hard day's work. She also started eating like shit. She's about 19 pounds heavier than when we first met, and on her 5'2" frame. It definitely shows. After ignoring my subtle hints for the last year, I finally sat her down last month and said enough is enough. She needs to make an effort to get healthy. She agreed that, and asked me to help, since I'm in great shape myself. I did everything to support her in losing weight. I paid for an expensive supplement program. I woke up early in the morning and prepared her healthy lunches she could take to work. And when she got home from work, I had a healthy dinner prepared on the table. I added her to my gym plan, and even bought her a road bicycle. Today I borrowed her car, and found fast food wrappers everywhere, along with receipts of recent purchases. This led me to check our joint bank account, and I saw she's been picking up fast food every day since we've had that discussion about her getting healthy. Not only that, she also was buying fast food during work, suggesting that she's been throwing away the meals I have prepared. This really pissed me off. I confronted her, and she started crying and took accountability for her lack of discipline. I was telling my girlfriend's sister about this ordeal, and she said I was being controlling and an asshole. But from my perspective, I simply just want her to be healthy. I think I went above and beyond in my approach in how I dealt with this. Being 5'2" and gaining 19 pounds of fat rapidly, and she's only getting heavier. She's setting herself up for heart disease, diabetes, and could cause issues to her knees. Also, we don't even have kids yet. So to be gaining this type of weight so rapidly is definitely concerning to me for her health.
Okay, so maybe I'm going to expose myself as a hypocrite here, but I think that where the husband in the first post was the asshole, and that post's OP was in the right. In this case, both parties are doing some things wrong, and if anything, OP sounds worse than his girlfriend does. While it does sound like OP's girlfriend here is developing some alarming eating habits, and while it was wrong of her to ask for OP's help, then ignore his advice and throw away his meals. OP also sounds pretty controlling, if I'm being honest, and the way he talks about her body, and how it used to look when they met, along with his somewhat overblown response to 19 pounds of weight gain, which, while not nothing, is hardly an enormous amount of weight to put on over a 6-year relationship, really suggests to me that he is more concerned with how his girlfriend looks than he is with her health, and that he is basically uninterested in her feelings on the matter one way or another. Like, did he even ask her why she was smoking so much weed? Or eating so much? Because it sure doesn't sound like he did. And if it were me, I would say that getting to the bottom of all that should be pretty high up his list of priorities, rather than laying down the law about how many pounds she is allowed to put on. Helping your partner to stay healthy is a good thing to do, as I already established in the first post, and I am not necessarily opposed to OP helping his girlfriend get in shape. But the way he went about it left a sour taste in my mouth. And I have a hard time believing that he values her overall well-being more highly than his desire for a girlfriend with a body that he considers ideal. And, well, he should, so that's more than a little disappointing. On the whole, this relationship sounds pretty unhealthy and dysfunctional, and neither party is going about things in entirely the right way. So I'd say that each party is engaging in arseholery on some level. But if I had to choose which one of the two was the bigger arsehole, some might disagree, but I'm going with OP. I'd hate to have him as my boyfriend, haha. At any rate, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you had a good time reading through these posts with me, and that you got something out of my commentary. What do you think? Is eating only fast food and dessert totes cool if you skip lunch? Is it appropriate to call your sister a disgusting monster and tell her what to do with her body? Does the OP in the last post really care about his girlfriend's health? Or is that just a pretext? Who was the biggest arsehole across the 3 stories? Let me know in the comments. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, or I'll make you bathe in chocolate, strawberry syrup, and whipped cream. Just kidding, haha. Anyway, catch you later.